Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on September 16th, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Mokkha karoti vacharam
Pangon Vandayate
Yativatam Bande
Shri Gurum Dinataryam
Anandavadavam
Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram
Hare Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will continue with the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled Cows, Birds, Deer, and all the moving and non-moving living entities of Vrindavan become very jubilant to see Lord Chaitanya. Under the section, the Lord travels to Vrindavan. Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka 9.132. The men bringing news, they told us that the Lord suddenly saw somewhere the beauty of a peacock's neck that was blissful due to happiness, and he fell down, rolled about on the ground, trembled, cried out, ran to and fro, wept, and fainted unconscious.
So, Lord Chaitanya is like seeing the blue neck of peacock.
So Lord Chaitanya, just by seeing the blue neck of the peacock,
Became completely overwhelmed with ecstatic love of Krishna.
became completely overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna.
And he started to manifest different ecstatic symptoms,
And he started to manifest different ecstatic symptoms
like rolling on the ground,
like rolling on the ground, trembling, crying out,
and running to and fro,
running to and fro, weeping,
fainting.
and fainting.
So he was expressing loving ecstasy very greatly within now.
So he was expressing loving ecstasy very greatly in Vrindavan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.217 to 218.
ময়ূরের নিত্য প্রভু দেখে কুতূহলে ময়ূরের কণ্ঠ দেখি প্রভুর কৃষ্ণকান্তি স্মৃতি হইল প্রেমাবেশে মহাপ্রভু ভূমিতে পড়িল.
When the Lord saw the bluish necks of the peacocks, his remembrance of Krishna immediately awakened, and he fell to the ground in ecstatic love. Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak. Once, when the Lord saw calf running in Vrindavan forest with tails raised, he fainted in ecstasy and fell into a thorn bushes by the roadside, and all of his limbs were pierced by the thorns.
So Lord Chaitanya would sometimes fall in ecstatic love of Krishna.
So Lord Chaitanya would sometimes fall due to ecstatic love of Krishna,
And he would not be conscious of his body,
and he would not be conscious of his body,
but his body would be injured by the thorns.
and his body was being injured by the thorns.
So Balabhadra, Bhattacharya and others, they were very anxious
Balabhadra Bhattacharya and others, they were very anxious
to protect the Lord.
to protect the Lord. Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak. The king says, then The messenger said, "One time, on the edge of the bushes, he suddenly fainted and fell to the ground in ecstasy. Then the deer licked the foam from his mouth, and the birds drank the tears that had fallen from his eyes."
And these animals are expert
So these animals were expert
in taking the nectar from the Lord.
for taking the nectar from the Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.194.
গোপাল দর্শন ও বর্জলীলা স্মৃতিতে প্রেমাবেশ পথে গাভী ঘটা চরে প্রভুরে দেখিয়া প্রভুকে বেড়ায় আসি হুঙ্কার করিয়া।
When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through Vrindavan, herds of grazing cows saw him pass, and immediately surrounding him began to move very loudly.
Where the cows in Vrindavan had sensed that Krishna had returned.
The cows in Vrindavan could sense that Krishna had returned.
They were moving in great love.
They were moving in great love. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.195.
গাভী দেখি স্তব্ধ প্রভু প্রেমের তরঙ্গে বাৎসলে গাভী প্রভু চাটে সব অঙ্গে।
Seeing the herds approaching, the Lord was stunned with ecstatic love. The cows then began to lick his body out of great affection.
The cows in the down, they're actually experiencing spiritual bliss.
The cows in Vrindavan, they are actually experiencing spiritual bliss,
And attracted to Lord Chaitanya
and they are attracted to Lord Chaitanya
and started to lick his body
and started to lick his body
in great effect.
in great affection.
This is very unusual for cows.
This is very unusual for the cows.
It means that the cows understood that this was their supreme protector, Lord Krishna.
That means the cows understood that this was their supreme protector, Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.196.
সুস্থ হইয়া প্রভু করে অঙ্গকুণ্ডয়া প্রভু সঙ্গে চলে নাহি ছাড়ে ধেনুগণ।
Becoming pacified, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to caress the cows, and the cows, being unable to give up his company, went with him.
All the cows Vrindavan were spontaneously attracted to Lord Chaitanya.
All the cows of Vrindavan were spontaneously attracted to Lord Chaitanya,
And they wanted to go with him.
and they wanted to go with him. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.197.
কষ্টে সৃষ্টে ধেনু সব রাখিল গোয়াল প্রভু কণ্ঠ ধ্বনি শুনি আইসে মৃগী পাল।
It was only with great difficulty that the cowherd men were able to keep the cows back. Then when the Lord chanted, all the deer heard his sweet voice and approached him.
The Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself,
Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself,
called in the mode of a devotee.
coming in the mood of a devotee.
But somehow all the cows, deers, all the animals, they understood that this was their old friend.
So somehow the cows, the deer, all the other animals, they understood that this was their friend.
And fearlessly they approached the Lord and took his association.
And fearlessly they approached the Lord and took his association. CC Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 1798.
প্রভু দর্শনে মৃগ দম্পতির সুখ। মৃগ মৃগী মুখ দেখি প্রভু অঙ্গ চাটে, ভয় নাহি করে সঙ্গে যায় বাটে বাটে।
When the does and bucks came and saw the Lord's face, they began to lick his body. Not being at all afraid of him, they accompanied him along the path.
This is most unusual
This is most unusual
because our Krishna, our return to Vrindavan, all the animals without fear approached him.
because Krishna had returned to Vrindavan. All the animals approached him without fear.
প্রভু দর্শনে পক্ষীগণের কলনাদ ও হর্ষ। সুখ পিগ ভৃঙ্গ প্রভুরে দেখি পঞ্চম গায়, শিক্ষিগণ নৃত্য করি প্রভু আগে যায়।
Bumblebees and birds like the parrot and cuckoo all began to sing loudly on the fifth note, and the peacocks began to dance in front of the Lord.
Birds and bumblebees are also inspired by the Lord.
The birds and bumblebees were also inspired by the Lord.
They sang the fifth note, highest note,
They sang in the fifth note, the highest note,
and accompanied the Lord as he walked through the forest of Vrindavan.
and they accompanied the Lord as he walked through the forest of Vrindavan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.200.
বৃক্ষলতারও পুলকাশ্রু বর্ষণ। প্রভু দেখি বৃন্দাবনের বৃক্ষলতা গণে, অঙ্কুর পুলক মধু অশ্রু বরিশনে।
Upon seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the trees and creepers of Vrindavan became jubilant. Their twigs stood up, and they began to shed tears of ecstasy in the form of honey.
This shows a special quality of Vrindavan,
This shows the special quality of Vrindavan,
how the trees and creepers of Vrindavan are also expressing ecstasy at Lord Chaitanya's presence.
how the trees and creepers of Vrindavan, they were also expressing ecstasy at the presence of Lord Chaitanya. C.C. Madhya 17.201.
ফুল ফল ভরি ডাল পরে প্রভু পায়, বন্ধু দেখি বন্ধু যেন ভেট লইয়া যায়।
The tree branches and creepers, overloaded with fruits and flowers, fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord and greeted him with various presentations as if they were friends.
In the spiritual world, all the creepers, trees are alive and conscious.
In the spiritual world, all the trees and creepers, they are alive and they are conscious.
And it seems that the land of Vrindavan, they are also experiencing the same symptoms of transcendental consciousness.
It seems that in the land of Vrindavan, they are also experiencing the same transcendental,
And spontaneously they are offering their fruits to Krishna Chaitanya
and spontaneously they are offering their fruits to Lord Krishna Chaitanya
with great affection.
with great affection. C.C. Madhya 17.202.
প্রভু দর্শনে স্থাবর জঙ্গম সকলেরই হর্ষ ও প্রভু সহ ক্রিয়া। প্রভু দেখি বৃন্দাবনে স্থাবর জঙ্গম, আনন্দিত বন্ধু যেন দেখে বন্ধুগণ।
Thus, all the moving and non-moving living entities of Vrindavan became very jubilant to see the Lord. It was as if friends were made happy by seeing another friend.
All the entities of Vrindavan, moving and non-moving,
All the living entities of Vrindavan, moving and non-moving,
became very jubilant to see the Lord Krishna Chaitanya.
became very jubilant to see Lord Krishna Chaitanya.
And they expressed a loving devotion.
And they expressed their loving devotion. C.C. Madhya 17.203.
তা সবার প্রীতি দেখি প্রভু ভাবাবেশে, সবাসনে ক্রিয়া করে হইয়া তার বসে।
Seeing their affection, the Lord was moved by ecstatic love. He began to sport with them exactly as a friend sports with his friends. Thus, he voluntarily came under the control of his friends.
Our Lord Chaitanya, being in Vrindavan,
Our Lord Chaitanya, being in Vrindavan,
reciprocated all the moving and non-moving living entities.
reciprocated with all the moving and non-moving entities.
And thus, he was joyful and they were joyful.
Thus, he was joyful and they were joyful. Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak. Once, although he fell on Govardhan hill and his body became broken because he was drowning in the nectarian ocean of ecstatic love, he was not aware that he was hurt. Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak 9.137. When the Lord saw forest after forest and the bushes without restraint lamented loudly out of love, seeing these the trees and vines also cried, and the birds fainted as if being attacked.
So, Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy was reciprocated by all the trees and birds.
So Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy was reciprocated by all the trees and birds.
Lord Chaitanya's presence in Vrindavan was filled with ecstatic love.
Lord Chaitanya's presence in Vrindavan was filled with ecstatic love. C.C. Madhya 17.204.
প্রতি বৃক্ষলতা প্রভু করেন আলিঙ্গন, পুষ্পাদি ধ্যানে করেন কৃষ্ণ সমর্পণ।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to embrace each and every tree and creeper, and they began to offer their fruits and flowers as if in meditation.
Lord Chaitanya was feeling such ecstatic love.
Lord Chaitanya was feeling such ecstatic love
He started to embrace all the trees,
that he started to embrace all the trees,
and they in turn gave their fruits,
and they in turn
flowers
gave all their fruits and flowers
to the Lord.
to the Lord. C.C. Madhya 17.205.
কৃষ্ণ প্রেমে প্রমত্ত প্রভু, অঙ্গকম্প পুলক প্রেমে শরীর অস্থিরে, কৃষ্ণ বল বলে উচ্চ স্বরে।
The Lord's body was restless, and tears, trembling, and jubilation were manifest. He said very loudly,
Chant Krishna, chant Krishna.
"Chant Krishna, chant Krishna."
So, the Lord in His ecstasy was telling all the moving and non-moving entities
So the
to
Lord,
chant the holy name of Krishna.
the Lord in his ecstasy was telling all the moving and non-moving entities to chant the holy name of Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.206
প্রভুর কৃষ্ণ কীর্তনে সকলেরই কৃষ্ণ ধ্বনি স্থাবর জঙ্গম মিলি করে কৃষ্ণ ধ্বনি প্রভুর গম্ভীর স্বরে যেন প্রতিধ্বনি
All moving and non-moving creatures then begin to vibrate the transcendental sound of
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, as if they were echoing the deep sound of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
My Lord Chaitanya's influence,
By Lord Chaitanya's influence,
all moving and non-moving living entities start to chant Hare Krishna.
all the moving and non-moving entities started to chant Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada said that we cannot do the same thing
Srila Prabhupada said that we cannot do the
as
same
Lord
thing
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
but at least we should get the human beings to chant.
but at least we should get the human beings to chant. CC Madhya 17.207
মৃগ সঙ্গে প্রভুর প্রেম ক্রন্দন মৃগের গলা ধরি প্রভু করে নরদনে মৃগের পুলক অঙ্গে অশ্রু নয়নে
Then the Lord then clasped the neck of the deer and began to cry. There was jubilation manifest in the bodies of the deer, and tears were in their eyes.
Lord Chaitanya was feeling such loving separation from Lord Krishna.
So Lord Chaitanya was feeling such loving separation from Lord Krishna.
He hugged the neck of the deer,
He hugged the neck
cried
he
in
hugged the,
ecstasy.
he hugged the neck of the deer and cried in ecstasy.
The deer also feeling ecstasy, and they cried.
The deers were also feeling ecstasy and they cried.
Normally, deers will not come up to a person,
Normally, deers would not come up to a person,
but they came up to Lord Chaitanya because of their long, because of him being transcendental.
but they came up to Lord Chaitanya because of him being transcendental.
They became very jubilant to see Lord Chaitanya.
And they became very jubilant to see Lord Chaitanya. Thus ends the chapter entitled Cows, Birds, Deer, and all the moving and non-moving living entities of Vrindavan became very jubilant to see Lord Chaitanya. Under the section, the Lord travels to Vrindavan.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.